Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm over here laying in bed sicker than a dog. I'm trying to get better. I got sick on my trip to Alaska and I've still been struggling on getting over it. As some of you may know, I have autoimmune issues, and so it has been a struggle because that, along with my other health issues, has been kind of just, making it really hard for me to get over. But anywho, I wanted to make this video and let y'all know that I'm not monetizing this video. I just feel that it shouldn't be monetized because I would just feel horrible trying to make any kind of profit off of a video of this topic. It is a sensitive topic, and we will be talking about SA and trafficking and things of that nature. So I just also wanted to give you a trigger warning. But since I'm not monetizing this video, I wanted to go ahead and ask if you could please share the video. Please do that so we can help out the channel. It really does help a lot. I wanted to go ahead and make this video, and the reason I called it The Curious Case of Kevin Mosley is because there's so many things going on in this situation that it's just very interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about all of this. So it all started because my sister sent me a text of this video in question. And this is the first video that I saw, and I want you to check it out for yourself.
My name is Kevin James Mosley. I was born 12/21/1988 at the UCLA Medical Center. I'm going to try and, over the course of some time here in the future, go over my life events that led to me being trafficked. With my mom helping my traffickers, and my traffickers being Rob Campbell, Luke Campbell, and Garrett Cormier, who all have military backgrounds, as well as being trafficked by law enforcement, specifically the Huntington Beach Police Department. A lot of law enforcement has tried to help with the situation, but when you're so far up, you can do whatever you want. I was in social services. I was sent to Kearney, Nebraska. I know where a woman's body is in Crestone, Colorado, named Crystal Rissinger. I have recordings that prove or that lend evidence to who did it. Not just me recording myself or anything silly like that, but pretty serious stuff.
Now, after watching this first video of his, I was instantly intrigued, not only because he was speaking up about something that I feel that is a topic that a lot of people don't like to speak on. Also, I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people in the comments, there are a few people that have been trying to discredit Kevin James Mosley and his story, and I just don't think that that's right. I think that any victim that comes forward, we should all be willing to listen to their story and, try to help them as much as we can. So that's another reason I wanted to cover this situation. Also because he mentioned Crystal Rissinger, I'm not sure, and I apologize if I'm just not even saying her name correctly, but I looked into her disappearance, and she has been missing for quite some time. So just with that and everything else in combination, I instantly started binge watching all of his videos. Kevin James Mosley claims that he was trafficked by the FBI and by police officers and by his own mother. I did see one video where Kevin James Mosley was talking about how he wanted a reporter to be able to share their story. And then I saw where he did a TikTok and where he did get a reporter to reach out to him, and they were doing a story.
My name is Kevin James Mosley. I was born in California on December 21st of 1988.
Hi Kevin, my name's Brittany. I'm in West Virginia. I'm from Florida. I'm a journalist for the Inscriber magazine. I'd like to talk to you. Just an update for those of you wondering about the story I'm doing on Kevin Mosley. I am in the process of doing research and getting my questions and everything together for the article and the interview. I plan on reaching out to him tomorrow to go over some of those questions. I've already got the green light from the editor at the magazine, so the story is 100% going to happen. If anyone's interested in reading any of my other work, you can look me up on Google, Brittany Montgomery, the Inscriber magazine. If anyone has any information involving Kevin Mosley's case from the opposite side, please let me know. Unfortunately, a lot of government agencies do get involved in this stuff, and it is extremely sad, and it's a very hard war to fight, but it's worth fighting, so we're gonna fight.
Now, at this point in Kevin Mosley's story, I was very invested, and I was also hopeful that he was going to get the help that he was desperately asking for. I read every single comment at this point and watched every single video. And in the comments, I started to see people asking about why he was not signing the release for this reporter to be able to put out his story. Now, there were several comments, and I did not see Kevin make a video regarding the situation and why he didn't sign it, but there were comments that he responded to, and he said that gave reasons as to why he didn't sign for the release for his story to get out. After going through all of the comments, I started to look at these comments and see that there was particular comments from individuals that were claiming to be his family members. One of them was supposedly or allegedly his brother, and the other was supposedly his mom. Now, later on in reading the replies from Kevin Mosley to these people, there were kind of conflicting stories. He did address them and talk to them as if they were his family. He even went as far as to talk to one of the individual that was claiming to be his mother, was named Tiffany, and he did say, "Come on, Biomom, live debate." So I do believe that these are his family members. I was able to find a YouTube video, and I'll include that for you here.
My name's Chris. I'm Kevin's older brother. That'll become apparent soon. I'm going to start by addressing his claims on his TikTok directly, and I will do my best to disprove them one by one until you guys understand that I am telling the truth and Kevin has mental health issues. First and foremost, we were not trafficked. We were taken from our mother when I was 12, Kevin was 10. She was an alcoholic. We were in group homes for several years in Orange County, California. Almost everything else he says is absolute delusion. Anyways, I'm just going to start by going back. Let's see. I'm 18 months older than he is. Here's Kevin when he was about, 2005. I was 18, he was 16 here. That's our grandmother. He's not being trafficked at 16 either. This is me. This is Kevin in the same school. I'm guessing I was probably about 10. Kevin might have been 8, something like that. Not being trafficked. Here's Kevin, again, not being trafficked. That's our cousin, who he will be involved later. Here's Kevin at about 18 when he was traveling. Here's Kevin again when he was traveling, right there in the middle holding the dog. This was in San Francisco, pretty sure. I mean, I have tons of pictures of us throughout our childhood. There's Kevin again. There's myself and Kevin in Arizona. Could go on and on and on and on. There's just tons of pictures. My mom and myself. There's Kevin and I, about that same age. And then here's us in Huntington Beach. I think I might have been about 8 here. Kevin was about 6, maybe 7. Okay, anyways, I think that gets those out of the way. We were never trafficked at that point in our life. That was before we were taken from our mother, by the way. Which is true. We've had a hard life, there's no disputing that, but something happened to Kevin at some point within the last 5 years, so around when he was 25, 26, and he mentally broke. Something happened. Don't know what it is. None of us have been in contact with him lately. He's completely ostracized himself from us. This is from our aunt, one of our aunts. She said, "I'm forwarding part of the stuff Kevin sent me. I didn't see it until today. At the end, he threatened me. Not sure why he feels the need to be so mean towards me. I'm very confused. Do you know anything?" This is when he first started harassing my aunt Veronica. And then it's just a lot of memories of him, and a lot of what he's saying in here, some of them are true, like waking up from a nightmare, him cutting his hand with a knife. There's just a lot. There's a lot in this one. And right here is one of his vague threats. "You may be happy to know I have HIV. He does not have HIV. "You're probably right. I will die from AIDS. I don't mean to bust up your plan, but I'll be dying from something else real soon. I do hate you and Mom more than anything. I wish you could have shown me kindness and love like I did. I hope you can use my life as a tool to treat others better. I love you so much." I've tried very long to get him to understand that he needs to get help, and he just won't do it. He goes through phases, like I said before, where he'll be very manic for like a week or two, and then he will chill. Like, I won't hear from him for a long time. These are the people who I'm pretty sure live in New York, and he recently went to jail for harassment. They actually followed through with pressing charges, and he got a harassment charge. Went to jail. This was back in May, just a few months ago. I do believe that he recently found out about the elite pedophilia conspiracy theory, and he's latched onto it as a way to get attention. I am pretty into conspiracy theories myself. He was not involved in anything like that. He wants attention. That's his big goal, is to get attention. Yeah. If he wants attention, he'll get it, but he's just going to be exposed as mentally ill. He has no proof to back up any of his claims. None. Zero. If he had any evidence, he would have contacted police and these people would be in jail. Okay, there's not some grand conspiracy against him. There just isn't. Yeah, I think I provided you guys with enough to kind of understand what we've been dealing with for about the last 5 years regarding Kevin's mental health.
Now, it was a little hard for me to look at the images of the messages that Kevin's brother Chris was showing on his videos. So I went ahead and took screenshots of them just so that way you could read them a little bit better. So you can pause and read them and you can see that they are indeed from Kevin James Mosley. They are also from other people such as his aunt who forwarded messages that were from Kevin James Mosley as well. Now, the really curious thing about everything is that a lot of what the brother is saying, you can tell that it does coincide with Kevin James Mosley's story. So far, it shows proof that there's truths on both sides, which makes it very, very curious to me. The brother Chris also included Kevin James Mosley's arrest information, which Kevin James eventually talks about later on in some of the recordings that I'm going to be showing y'all. Now, there are people that are not believing Chris's story because they say that he has tattoos that are tied to the Illuminati, and also there are pictures and there are also books in his apartment or home that coincide with the Illuminati, and therefore that he could be a part of this whole trafficking operation. And there were even some people that were saying that he was probably paid off to pretend, and all of these different conspiracies that are going around. And it's just a really curious case to me. So I reached out to Kevin James Mosley myself because he said in several of his TikToks that you could reach out to him if you wanted some information on the Crystal Reisinger case. And so I did, and he told me to look into his link on his profile because it would have all of the information and recordings. So I looked into his link. There was a lot of information. I looked it over. I found a few things that I thought were very interesting. One of them being that he did speak to his therapist multiple times. She is saying like, oh yes, I remember that. And she does say also that her diagnosis and when she did speak with him before, that she never saw any signs of him being delusional or anything like that. They also do go into conversation about Crystal, and he also calls an investigator, a private investigator, and has a conversation and talks in detail about things as far as to where Crystal's body may be. So I thought that was very interesting, and I'm going to include that for y'all here.
But twice I had stuff that little bits of information that was going on with the Crystal girl who everyone thought was missing or whatever. And twice I tried, me and her were talking at a Saturday market one time, and then I told her about the last time I saw Crystal. She's like, oh, you should tell the sheriff that. And I was like, totally. And then I went to go, he was right there. I don't forget which one it was, but she was like, hey, this guy might have information on something about Crystal or whatever. And then he turned to me, and he's like, who? And she's like, him. And he turned to me, and he just turned and walked away, in front of everyone. And
I bet you it was Wayne Clark.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it was, but then a second,
a big jerk.
But then a second time, was it Benji said that I stole candy from his store?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then when he, which I didn't do, I've never been a bad person. I stole candy once when I was 7 or something.
Right.
I mean, I've done jaywalking and dumb stuff like that, but I don't know.
You follow the rules. Yeah.
And like I was like up until my meat threat, like now I have to go to like court in a couple days.
Yeah.
Uh,
What are they charging you with?
just 2 counts of, I mean, not just, it's bad, it's really bad. It's 2 counts of phonotonic harassment or whatever.
Are you on any medication right now?
I've been stretching my psychiatrist meds for the last 7 months, which basically means I just look at my like 6 pills in my bottle as you know.
Yeah. Background of post-traumatic stress and being traumatized again. I'm just, I have never seen you be delusional. I never got that impression from you. That you were always lucid, you were always rational, you had stress, a lot of stress. Because when I saw you, you were basically homeless, and stuff, and you were having a tremendous amount of anxiety. But yeah,
So that was the conversation that I told you about when he spoke with his therapist. And the next conversation is the conversation he had with a private investigator.
But it is a serious case involving a missing person, and which I'm pretty sure isn't missing. I'm like 99.9% sure I know where the person is, and it's a pretty big case. If you look at the Crystal Christinger case in Crestone, Colorado, and like I lived in that town. It's only a town of like 100 and I thought it was a town of like 500 people, but I include what's called the Baca. But
Wait a minute. The person that was missing is from Colorado.
Correct.
And from what town?
Crestone.
Crestone.
Correct.
I lived in Colorado for 15 years. Where's Crestone?
Saguache County.
Okay, I'm not familiar with it.
North of Alamosa, south of Salida.
Okay. All right. All right. So this person, a man or woman?
She's a woman.
And do we think that some harm has come to her?
Oh, that was understanding when when I was in town, I kept on getting told, because she went missing after she was going to report like a sexual assault, and was it?
She was going to report a sexual assault, and suddenly she's gone missing.
Yeah, and
how long she's been gone?
Since 2015 or so. I'm pretty sure I've been looking at this a lot. It's 2016. 2016 is when she went missing, or when she was like reported missing. I thought for the longest time that she just left town because everyone, I don't know. It's a small town. People gossip like no one's business in this place. I'm sure that happens everywhere, but.
How old is she?
30. In between 25 and 30, old enough to have a kid.
Okay, who's most interested in her return? Her parents still alive? Or she married? This kind of stuff.
Her baby's father is probably most interested, but I'm interested too. I'm trying to get in contact with him, but I've had no luck in helping me pay for a private attorney, like a private investigator, because I'm broke and I'm just like a random poor person who's been. I'm a victim in a lot of stuff that went down in this town, Crestone, and aware of stuff that I've tried to report to the sheriffs, and I think that they were intentionally misled by this guy Logan, who's.
So you think that your information would help the police, and they're turning a deaf ear to you? 100%.
But like if they're, that's not. I mean, I have Like, that's not just now. That's like 2 occasions when I lived in that town it happened. Once in front of a group of people.
Okay. So do you think you know where the woman is, or do you think that she may have been done in?
Well, that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure she's. I mean, if this is what happened, like these people that I knew, that were pretending to be my friends, like one person was being manipulated. It's a woman, Bonnie, who had a kid, and this guy Logan, who's lived on this woman's property, and he had this like 8-foot wide by 8-foot long and 6-foot deep like hole that he had. Like, it wasn't a hole. It was just like a really like, it was like well made. Like, he had like it reinforced with like wood, and then he had like a wood stove in there, and he lived in there for like 2 years, and one day after like 2 years of him living in there, like one day him and Bonnie starts, like, they say that, like, and they look really, like, I've been messed with so much at this point, and they look like, and it's hard for me to tell if someone's messing with me or being honest, and I'm pretty sure it would be really odd for both of them to act this well. And they were both like green in the gills, saying that they had to bury Crystal in Logan's hole. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like, I'm just like being like, this is bullshit. And I go there, and Logan's building a tree house now, and it's like the hole's covered. And the crazy thing is, and I swear about this, I've been telling a lot of people about this. Okay, the dirt, like, that's like, it's all rock there, and it's all like sagebrush and trees. The dirt that he dug out of that hole, like, it was out of that hole for like 2 years at least. It like was caked onto the ground and spread out. There's no way. When I went back to that hole, it was not kind of covered. It was completely covered. Someone had to have brought in a truckload of dirt, for sure, at least one truckload of dirt to fill that hole. And I was like standing over it, like, and I looked at him and I'm like, dude, did you really do that or something? They're like, no, we're just messing with you. And I'm like, you covered up this whole hole. I actually didn't think that the whole hole got covered by a truck at the time. I wasn't trying to think about that. I was just like shocked. I was like, you actually covered the hole. And I was like, there's no way that he would have put so much work into like this hobbit hole of his. And he said they found her in there and they had to cover it up. And I was like, we got to go to the police. And then they're like, no, we're messing with you, after like hours of me talking to them, trying to be like, I think you guys are being set up. And then I hear Bonnie pull Logan aside and say, like, I think he's trying to help us. And Logan's like, no, he's trying to like hurt us, because Logan is being manipulated, because Logan's like pretty easily manipulated, like, from what I think I could tell. At least from everything that was happening, like, he was like recording conversations of me, like, he told me, and like he would try and say something, and these people were telling him to say stuff that would get him in trouble, because he was told that it was just crazy. But I think, is just legally culpable, and going through him, like,
it all boils down to your belief that perhaps she's in that hole dead, or people are messing with you.
Yeah, it's one of the two, but like, I very much doubt. Like, there's so much, and I have 3 recordings from someone who's lived in that town for 3 years.
These people that might be messing with you, how well do you know them? Do you believe that they're messing with you, or do you think that they're sincere?
I believe that they're being. Well, I mean, I believe that they're being. I know that they're messing with me a lot, because I've known them. Like, it's convoluted. Like, they were told to mess with me, and like at least there's Bonnie Mick Ackerman, Logan Nance, Dylan Salvatore, and Andrea Perez. None of these 4 people knew each other. They were all from out of state, and they all just got there around the same time I did. Dylan is the one that's like come to me recently and told me all this stuff that I told you at the beginning of the conversation about him crying. And then he's told me while I lived there about weird stuff that people are trying to do. And then it's been confirmed multiple times by Andrea, Logan, and Bonnie as they've gone back and forth with how they feel about me. And then it's escalated to that situation that I mentioned. And based off of like me and my experiences, like, it was so real. And Bonnie, I don't think, is like, she's pretty genuine. I don't think she could fake what she, like, that look for so long and so well, and like it's too much. It's too much. The whole was covered. They both, like, it was just too much.
Okay, so what exactly do you want done?
I would like her body to be, or that hole to be, like, exhumed or whatever, and like I want
this hole is up there in Colorado.
Yeah. I've had no luck in any other, like, I've been trying for years for various means, and I'm poor, and it's just like, imagine if you knew where, like, someone was dead, like, you know, your next door neighbor's body, and no one believed you. You're just like, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's crazy.
I think I'd get myself a shovel and go over there and start digging.
Well, yeah, but I can't just go onto someone's property and then, like, and, like, I've never seen. I think I've seen, like, a dead body once when I was, like, walking to school when I was 16, and they had, like, cops who were covering it and stuff. But, like, I've never, like, that's extreme. Like, I freak out when I step on a snail. I'm really good at, like, injuries, but, like, I could never.
So after that part of the conversation, the private investigator goes on to try to help Kevin James Mosley into finding help in, like, the state that he's in, or in the state that the alleged murder occurred. I think that if his friends messed with him, I think that that's a really cruel thing to do. I mean, I don't think that somebody would joke around about something like that, but I mean, you never know. So I don't know. This whole situation definitely has me, like, on the edge of my seat. I've been watching every single video and even looking through the comments and things like that. The one thing that I really, really hope is, I really do hope that Kevin James Mosley gets the help that he needs, not just with the Crystal Reisinger case and everything else that he's dealing with, but I really, really hope that he also gets help as far as just him, you know, dealing with all of the trauma that he's been through and everything that he's dealing with, because you can tell that he is a very, very hurt person, and that's just really sad to me. I know that it's hard dealing with someone who may have issues like depression or mental illness and something like that. I have a family member who has mental issues, and it's really, really hard because you never know when they're going through that or when they're not, or when they're having, I call them episodes. No matter what it is that they're going through, even if the things that they are going through or they're saying are not true or maybe embellished a little bit or whatever, they believe within themselves that those things are true. So they are dealing with the reaction that somebody who would be dealing with something like that, even though it's not true, they would still be dealing with those same feelings. And that for me is heartbreaking. Even Chris said himself that above all, he wants for Kevin to get help. And I want that too. I want for him to get help for everything that's going on. And I want hopefully for, you know, somebody to look into this as far as with the investigation of Crystal's murder or disappearance. I believe that it's worth looking into it. I don't think that it would, you know, harm anything to look into these things. There were other people within the comments that were saying, oh yeah, you know, yeah, I'm the wife of one of the guys that you're mentioning, and he remembers you, and he remembers that did happen, what you're saying. I mean, so there's a lot of truths to it. There's a lot of conflicting stories. I don't know what's true, what's not. I'm going to be sending good vibes, you know, and prayers to Kevin James Mosley and also to his family, because I can also see that they're hurt as well. And it's just a very heartbreaking situation all the way around, in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And hopefully, you know, everybody in this situation gets some help. I think that would be great. So let me know what you think. Again, this video is not monetized, so YouTube is going to share it differently. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. Please share this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would appreciate that so much. I appreciate each and every one of you that is already subscribed to my channel and that continues to support me. I really do appreciate you all. So I wish you all well. I hope you are doing well, and I will see you on next video. Bye guys.